This is a brief background of mine.
So you have got some exposure to the technical side of it also, or you have the functional understanding and you get technical guys to do the
I
work?
have a team of programmers to do this. I design the software. You can call it the main architect. I don't do coding.
Understood.
So I do the overall business specs, overall architecture, design, everything.
Okay.
To provide the team, and also the specs along with the team. I provide the specs, and also after that I also do testing to confirm whether it meets the requirement.
Understood.
So since last, I think 15 years I've been 2001. There's a break for some time. I think 2001. Now we are in 2021. Last 20 years I've been doing only this. For me, IT means information technology, not income tax.
Great.
My own income tax returns I get it filed with somebody else because I don't keep myself up to date with income tax because there's so much to learn in technology. This is my brief background. I passed my CA final in 1985, quite long back, and CISA exam, which is one of the famous exams pertaining to information systems audit, I passed in 1995. There is a global framework or standard called as COBIT, Control Objectives for Information and Technology, which you use primarily in large enterprises for enterprise governance and IT governance. I'm one of the international contributors for this framework as a member of the team which made this COBIT 5. I've also made presentations on IT audit, CAT, and various other things. I was also one of the senior most faculties of the DSA course. And I've also written articles for various journals. Now, this presentation is primarily focused on ECAT Enterprise. What is ECAT all about? If you look at the key features, it's unique in terms of the design because it is designed with simplicity that anybody who uses Excel can use data analytics software. You have high-end data analytics software which take 30 to 40 hours for learning and they're quite costly. Our objective was if anybody is using Excel, you should be able to use data analytics, perform complex operations using Excel itself. And that's how we have designed the software. It has been time tested. Currently, our software is used by more CAs across India in more than 40 cities. And it can be used, ECAT can be used for diverse uses, not only for assurance, it can also be used for fraud investigation and also for MIS and BI, business intelligence. So this gives you a snapshot of what ECAT is all about. It's a data analytics software specially designed for assurance, MIS and BI. It's an add-in to MS Excel. I'll show you a demo a little later. Ease of use and simple to learn, look and feel of MS Excel, but with the power of the database. Because behind the Excel software, we also have a database which actually runs the queries. It has got powerful data analytics with more than now ECAT is available in 2 flavors. One is called ECAT Enterprise and the second one is ECAT Pro. ECAT Pro has got about 130 functions as of now and ECAT Enterprise has got about 390 functions. The beauty of the software is you can perform complex analysis in a few clicks. Not only that, it also maintains documentation of the work done. If you have to get a snapshot of the key features of the software, we have divided into the panels based on the panels in the menus. So any data analytics requires curation of the data. This is used primarily as an Excel enhancer or time saver. If you're using Excel, you can probably do more than 5 times what you're able to do in Excel. You can also do profiling of the data, which is used for data analytics or FI. You have analysis or sampling, which is available, which is also used for data analytics or FI. We also got panels for investigator related templates, which can be used for business intelligence, MIS and FI. You also have auto documentation, where you maintain documentation. What function is done or is automatically recorded, so that in future you know what is the function, who has performed the function, at what time the function is performed, and you can also re-perform the function. You have also utilities, various utilities, which are Excel enhancers and time savers. For example, let's say you got a workbook. Now in that workbook, you have got multiple worksheets. You want to create an index of that workbook. So you can just, through a simple click, you can create an index sheets. You've got multiple workbooks in a folder and you want to create an index of all the folders with all the files in the directory. There is an index workbook function through which you can perform. And let's say you got multiple workbooks and you want to extract specific worksheet from this and put it in a single workbook, you can do that. Like that, there are various types of utilities, which you can call it as the Excel enhancers or time savers. Then you also got various types of tools. So if you look at the overall number of functions which are available in ECAT Enterprise, as of now, we've got 392 functions, and this gives the breakup of the functions as per each of the categories. ECAT Pro is software designed primarily for CAs and their teams, and Verma is actually using ECAT Pro. Their team underwent a 2-day training for about 8 hours, going through all the features and functionalities. It was a hands-on training by one of our friends who are the faculty for this training. And after that, I think they have got about 42 licenses that they're using extensively in all their audits. If you look at from other perspective, from the perspective features, these are the functions which are available in the software. These are the 7 key benefits of ECAT. Most of our users are currently chartered accountants, and there are only few companies who are using our software. Our objective is primarily because our focus on CAs, so we've been promoting this more from the CA point of view. But this can be used, as I said, by any CAs or non-CAs or CXOs. So if you look at one liner for our software, this is what we say: apply thought to technology. You got your intellectual skills. Can you apply your intellectual skills to data, interrogate the data, and get the information or insight from information? That's the primary purpose from which our software are designed. So this gives you another perspective of this. You got the knowledge and the skills. We provide you the tools and techniques so that you can provide value addition in your work. So these are the 3 different distinct users of ECAT. You have the auditors who can interrogate the software to get answers to questions. You also have fraud investigators who can identify potential possibilities of fraud. And you also got management who can use it for business intelligence or MIS. So what is most important when you're using any data analytics software is to establish the perspective. And this gives you the perspective. For any data analytics software, it's very important that you need to know what are the business processes, because based on the business processes, you'll be able to establish the right criteria which you want to test. You also need to understand the regulatory requirements. For example, let's say TDS or GST or any compliances. You need to understand what are the regulatory requirements which are there, because most of the regulatory requirements are nowadays embedded inside information technology. All the internal controls which are there. For example, let's say you look at the organization structure and you look at segregation of duties or the authorization. These are all embedded inside information technology. So you need to understand how to interrogate the data, access this particular data, and analyze so that you can come to the specific results and validate and confirm the results. So this is where data analytics or CAT could be useful. CAT is also referred to as computer assisted audit tools and techniques. So technology, which means you also need to understand what is the technology which is being used by the enterprise, because you need to know, you don't need to know the operating system, but you should know what is the format in which you need to get the data. In our case, because we got the software in this one ECAT, ECAT is primarily an add-in to Excel, which means what you do is any file which you can open in Excel in a tabular format, you can perform analysis. I'll show you in about 5 minutes. So these are the 7-step approach for data analytics. Like I said, you identify and document the scope and objectives. What is that you want to achieve? Identify what is the data format, where is it available? And based on the scope of the assignment, you review the data to understand what are each of the columns, what are the business criteria and the controls which are required in each of the columns. And then you need to prepare the data. This is where you review and curate the data, ensure that it's in the required structure. For example, the date should be in the date format. The character, the text should be in the text format, like that to ensure that all the data is in the correct format. And then understand the business process and the validations of the controls are relevant for audit. For example, I said, in your case, you said you want to identify whether there are duplicates. Okay, duplicates on what? For example, let's say the account number or customer number. Like that, you should establish what are the specific business process or the rules which are applicable for specific columns, and then you can use the functions and perform. So we make it very simple to interrogate and get the answers to your questions. So if you have to summarize all the discussion, data analytics, if you look at MS Excel, it's like a single knife, whereas ECAT is like a multi-dimensional knife. And you can perform BI and MIS on the fly, and data analytics in a few clicks. These are the panels which are available. I don't want to spend too much time on theory. I thought to spend more time on the perspective, how to use. So I want to get to the demo. This is the last few slides. So if you have to get all that I discussed so far, we need to understand the business process controls, establish the information criteria, which I want to evaluate, and then use the required tools and techniques from the software, and based on which I can analyze and report for value addition. So what is that you can achieve by using ECAT? You can do more in less time using ECAT software. What is most important in data analytics is to actually get the big picture. And that's where you can actually chart your roadmap and add value to be relevant. The focus should be, especially technology can give all the answers if you know how to ask the questions. And this is what is provided by data analytics software called ECAT, like ECAT. This is broadly the brief overview of what ECAT is all about. I think Mustansir has already shared a presentation which I made last time. I didn't want to get too much into theory. I wanted to get more into the practical aspects of what ECAT is all about and show you how the software works. Do you have any questions as of now?
Well, that's fine, Abdul. Anyone else has any questions? We can carry on, Abdul.
Now, is my communication clear? Are you able to get me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you look at ECAT, now if you see here, this is what I said is an add-in software. ECAT Enterprise is an add-in software, which means once you install the software, it just comes as an additional tab in this Excel. When
Excellent.
you click on this, this is where the power of the software opens out for you. Now, this is a separate panel. Now, if you see the panels, you got the curate panel, profile, analyze, investigate, document, utilities, tools, helps and options. These are the various panels which are available. In each of the panels, you got various types of menus and functions. For example, in the curate, you have the remove menu under which you got, let's say, about 17 to 80 functions. These are all for curating the data. For example, sometimes I get a data, I export it in a CSV, and there could be some leading and trailing spaces. And when you do matching, because the leading and trailing spaces is not able to match properly. So we curate the data by removing the leading and trailing spaces. So if there is some cases, there may be indent or leading spaces that can be removed, or there may be multiple spaces. For example, a name is entered. Sometimes the name is entered with, let's say, Rama Rao. After Rama, you got single space. Another case, there may be two spaces after Rama. So in that case, maybe when you do the analysis, it may find this as two different names. Although for the user, apparently it looks similar, but in the software, when you query, this comes as two separate names. And all this can be removed by using this type of curate functions. Similarly, you have got, let's say, delete. These are all the functions which you got. For example, you got data and there are some blank rows you have to remove. You can remove the blank rows. There are external hyperlinks you can remove. Like that, there are various types of functions. You also got transform the data. So let's say when you want to extract visible cells, let's say this is what I called as utilities. Now I got this data, I filtered the data, and I want to extract only the specific columns and rows. In this case, what I do is manually I have to go and copy and paste. And sometimes the formatting is lost. In this case, when I use that extract visible cells, it extracts only the particular cells which are visible and copies it in a separate file. Similarly, I have got some data where I want to copy from above cells. So there is a simple function called fill from above cells. In that case, what happens automatically? When you're filling the data, automatically in that particular column, whatever is in the above cell will be copied. Like that, there are various types of functions which are available for curating the data. My purpose in this one is not to give you a demo of the curate functions, but to focus on what you wanted. But before that, I just want to give you an overview of the software. So if you look at the curate function, so there's a curate panel. Now, this is what I said. You have got analyze, curate, document, investigate, profile tools. In each of the functions, let me just pick up the curate. If you pick up the curate functions, you see there are about 78 rows in which if you look at the menus, now there are about 7 menus. Okay, and then if you remove the menus, you got about 70 functions in this. Or if you also filter based on this, let's say I just pick up the functions based on F, I'll be able to pick up all the functions which are there in the curate panel. Similarly, let's say if I go to the profile panel, in profile panel, you got various types of functions. For example, I can stratify the data. I can stratify the date related data, character data. I can stratify based on the aging. I can stratify quickly based on distinct values. I can do totals, cumulative totals. I can do quadrant analysis. Like that, multiple functions are available. There are about 40 functions which are available in profile. Like that, there are various menus for each of the functions. For each of these panels and menus, you got functions. Let's say investigate, which are the most commonly used. Now, these are the type of functions which are available. We also got a tooltip or brief description for each of the functions, which gives you a snapshot of what the function does. We also got something called the relative size factor, which is very interesting. For example, let's say you are granted loans at different rates of interest. You will know that the rate of difference, rate of interest for a particular category should not be beyond, let's say, 20% or 30%. For example, let's say the rate of interest was 7% in the category. Later on, the RBI revised it to 7.5%, 8%, and 8.5%. Now we can perform a relative size factor on that particular loan category. For each of the loan category, you'll be able to find out the difference between the highest value and the second highest value and compute the ratio between this. Now, in this case, you will be able to find out which are the cases which are going beyond a particular percentage of variation. You also got maximum variance factor, which is a slight difference of the relative size factor. In the case of maximum variance factor, we find the difference between the maximum and the minimum. This can be applied to any type of a factor where you got two, for example, let's say you got inventory and you're purchasing inventory for a particular product. So product wise, you can find out, okay, what is the rate at which I bought, what is the unit price at which I bought, and what is the difference in terms of the ratios. So these are all the different functions which are available. Okay, so let me get started with I'll keep this down. Let me get started with sample data and show you the specific functions which you are looking for. I'll give you a quick demo of the functions, then you can ask me questions, any questions you want. And you want me to perform any specific query or you got any specific question for the data. I'll show you the data and let's look at what is the type of questions you can answer for the data. Ask the data based on your requirements, and then we'll perform the analysis. What I'll get started is, I'll get started with some sample analysis from this particular data. Now, if you see here, I got this particular data, which has got the account number, facility, customer name, limit, the outstanding amount. This is what is that? The new IRC, the old IRC, and the heading. This is what I got. Now, my primary objective, based on what you said, in this case, I want to find out, are there any duplicates in the account number? Now, I can do it in multiple ways. I'll show you one by one. Let's say I have a function, specific function. You also got conditional formatting in Excel, which you can use for doing this. But you'll see what is the advantage when you use this function. And look at the simple interface. I just go here, identify duplicates. It opens the form and gives me the list of fields which are available. I want to identify duplicates on, for example, in this case, I can perform on multiple conditions. I'm going to take one by one. Let's say I'm just going to perform on the account number. I can get the result in details or summary. Okay, I should be able to now, in a few seconds, it tells me that there are no duplicates in this particular account number. Good, so now I want to do same identify duplicates on the customer name. I go to identify duplicates. Now, in this case, I want to find based on the customer number. Okay, and I want to find the details, or let me give it this way. Let me first give the details, then I'll come to the summary. Now, in this case, there are about 1,000 plus records. Now, I'm looking at whether there are duplicates in the customer name. Now, this should be able to go through all the records, whether 1,000 records or 20,000 records. Now, you see, we have been able to get here the total number of duplicates which are available here. So, if you see here, Dilip Kumar Sahu, these are duplicates. Jaydev Mahapatra, like that, we have got these duplicates. So, it means there are totally 304 duplicates. Now, I want to get a synopsis of how many duplicates are there. What I can do here is, I can perform the same function, identify duplicates. Now here I want to identify duplicates based on the customer name and I want to get a summary. Okay, so in this case, what should happen is for each of the duplicates, it will tell me what are the number of times the duplicates are. Now, if you see here, now it tells me this Dilip Kumar Sahu 2. Now, not only that, I can also now here, let's say I want to sort this in ascending or descending order. I can also sort this. Now, for example, if you see here, Debaraj Pradhan, there are 5 times it has come. Ashok Kumar Dalai has come 3 times. I'm able to analyze this. Now, I want to see this customer details. I just double click. I can drill down and see the details of this particular customer. And I can also see what are the type of loans which have been given to this customer. Now, let's take up another case. What I would like to do now is, now I have done identify duplicate based on a single function. Now I want to find out identify duplicates based on, let's say, the customer name and the facility. Now, what I want to know is for the same customer, have we given multiple times the same type of a loan? Let's say in this case, a gold loan or any other type of loan. So in that case, what I do is I can do identify duplicates. And here I'm going to pick up the facility and the customer name. So it means it will find duplicates, which means the facility is also same, the customer name is also same. Here I should be able to get for each of the customer name with the same facility. Now you see earlier we had about 304, now we got about 64. Now if you see in this case, This person, Niranjan, we have given the same type of facility. Similarly, if you see Prabhakar Dash, we have given a DL bank deposit per this one personal. Similarly, Basanti, we have given this personal loan. Like that, we are able to get for each of the facility how many times you have given for this particular customer. Now, in this case, if you see Dilip Kumar Sahu, we have given multiple gold loans. We have given twice. Okay, this is what is identify duplicate. Now, I can also let me show you once again. Now, identify duplicate, I also want to find out whether the duplicate records, which means exact duplicates, which means all this row, everything is same. Which means maybe while uploading, there is error in the software or some other reason, the same customer has got uploaded, or for the same customer with the same details, we are given the loan twice or entered the data twice. So in that case, what I can do is I can go to identify duplicates. Here, if you see here, I can say select all for exact duplicates. So in this case, I know there is no exact duplicate because we know account number itself is unique. So if I say select, or what I'll do is before that, let me just add one duplicate, then I think we'll be able to get an idea. I'm just going to pick this customer and add a duplicate here with the same records. Okay, I'm going to pick up one more. I'll add it somewhere else, not necessarily the same place. Okay, now we've got two exact duplicates. Let's see whether the software is able to find that. Here I go to identify duplicates. See, as I said, you have to just do a simple clicks. You know what is that you want. Now here I have to just select all. You don't need to go and tick everything, just a select all, everything is selected. In this case, you should be able to find out the two accounts which are exact duplicates. Now you see, okay, so these are the 2 into 2, 4 times you got. These are the exact duplicates. This is how you can find the duplicates. Now let's pick up the same thing. Now there is a particular account number for which we got a format. Now this particular format, let's say it could be the account number or customer ID or this one. And let's say 0 is entered as O. Now, generally the software should have validation. It should not accept that. So, but I'm just going to insert this error. Let's say the software doesn't have that type of a validation because of which there is an error. Okay, Excel also throws out that error. Let's say if I got this particular format, I've just changed this particular format of these two data. Now here, let me go inside this. I'll just change the 0 as O. Okay, now I want to find out this in this particular type of data which is available. Now, especially if you got in CSV format, and you put this alignment as left, you'll not be able to identify whether it's where there's an error. Now everything looks same. Now I want to find out which are the accounts which have got a different format. So in this case, now this could be applied not only to the account number, it could be applied to PAN, GSTN, TAN, any number which has got this characteristics. So for that, what we have is a function called identify format. Let me come back. Now we've got other software. This is E2TallySoft, ECAT Enterprise, TCAT, ECAT Pro. Okay, ECAT Pro, as I told you, is another flavor of ECAT. TCAT is for tally data, and E2TallySoft is primarily for automating data entry into Tally. Now let me come back to this one. I got this function identify. I'm going to pick up a function called format. So look at the simplicity of the format. I have to just go and select the column. Here I'm going to select the account number. Okay, now here itself it has got an option, show the field length, because let's say in this particular case, the account number is, let's say 5, 7, 11 digit. Okay, I want to see and I want to identify exceptions, or I can also give the exceptions. For the timing, let me not give. Let's see. Now see, in a fraction of a second, it has added the format character, and it has also added the format length. Now I'm going to go to data and then apply the filter. Okay, now if I apply the filter here and go to the length, now lengthwise everything is same. Now here, if I come inside this is where the magic happens. Now if you see here, in this case, we have got two types of data. Now if you see here, this type of data where the format is different. Now all of them should be numeric, whereas these guys are exceptions. Now I find exactly which are the cases where I have got this wrong data, which means the format doesn't match. Now the same thing, instead of doing all this exercise, I can also say identify exceptions. the software will identify, pick the first account number as the base, and based on that, it will do the formatting. It will identify the exceptions automatically. Now let me delete this columns. I'm going to perform the same function once again. I come to eGet Enterprise. I come to identify. I come to identify format. Here I'm going to select the account number once again. Okay, now I'm going to select both the show field and also identify the exceptions. It also tells you use the first cell of the column as the base, identify exceptions, which means based on this, you should be able to show me the 2 accounts which are the exceptions. Now you see automatically you are able to get this exact 2 accounts which are, it automatically applies the filter and tells you these are the 2 accounts where there are differences in the format. Now, can we apply this to this one, let's say PAN data or GST data? You can apply it to anything. Let me pick up some this one case where you can apply this. This as far as your loan account is concerned. Let me, before that, let's go further and yeah.
One more thing here. So in terms of percentage, can it also calculate some kind of percentage match? Then what kind of percentage match is there?
No, we don't have. No, we don't. We don't have the percentage match as such as of now. We directly look at the exact match based on the criteria which is given. Excel has got a feature in this one called as fuzzy match, where it does a percentage match. But as far as I'm concerned, if you look at from the banking point of view, you are looking at 100% match, which means, for example, if you got this name, I'll show you another interesting feature. Let's say this Mr. Lakshmi Charan Maharana. Now you're given Mr. Lakshmi Charan Maharana.
The voice broke.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I think the internet connection was a little slow. Okay, let me repeat. We don't have the percentage-wise matching. Maybe we're planning to add it in the near future, but Excel has got that percentage match. Here, what we have got is something called as fuzzy match. Let me show that also to you. Now, I got this name. If you see here, some cases what has happened. In fact, we practically found this. In some cases, the data entered is entered as Mr. Lakshmi Charan Maharana. Next time, this is not entered with Mr. It just entered with the name. Another time, the same name is entered. Let's say we have this Narayana Nayak. Next time, it is entered as Nayak Narayana. Okay, now those type of things also you can find out, which is much more powerful than the 85% match. I can find out using the fuzzy match. So what I'll do in this case is I'm just going to I'm not sure whether the sample data is there. I'm just going to create this sample data. So for this, okay. So I've got this one Nayak Narayana, and I've got this Narayana Nayak. Okay, now similarly, I've got this, let's say one more case I'll prepare. Now you have this Bhagya Lakshmi. Okay, this is quite a long name. Let's say in this case, next name, I'm going to just copy this. Next time, let's say what I've done is I've just removed the Sangha. I'm not given the name, or I have given the initial. This is what I've got now. Okay, this is where now I'm going to use what is called as a fuzzy match. So here fuzzy match, you got 4 types. I'm just going to pick up one case. What you're saying regarding this one, I think that 85% match, this one could be done using something called near match, where you can say, or you can say, okay, how many characters you are prepared to accept with the difference. So you don't have a percentage. So here you can say primary, secondary, and then say difference value. Okay, which means let's say 1 character difference, 2 character difference you can give. Based on that, it can compute. But we don't have that percentage factor, but that's a good idea. Let's see whether you can add that. As of now, we don't have the percentage. Okay, let me show you the demo which I was talking about. Fuzzy match arrange. When you do the fuzzy match arrange, let me take the simplest one. You can also do what is called a soundex and sounds like. This is also another type of a matching you can do. Based on the name, it actually computes what is called a soundex value and the soundlikes value and identifies the duplicate. Okay, so let's say I take arrange. Now I'm going to take the input value. See, it's very simple. I have to pick up the customer name. So I'm going to pick the customer name here. Okay, split value. I'm going to give the space because I want the space between the names. Otherwise, I can't make sense of this data. I can also say ignore Mr. because sometimes he has entered Mr. Sometimes he has not entered. I can say I want you to ignore this Mr. and Mrs. Whatever has been entered. I want you to ignore and then compute. Let's say I've got this Mrs. also. Okay, I can also add other features. For example, I want to, sometimes it is given a Shri or something else. I can also give this, and I can say find duplicates. Okay, based on that, we'll be able to find duplicates. I'll come to the duplicates a little later. Let's see if I give the result, what is the result which is displayed? See, in a few seconds, we've got the result here. What happens in this case is, now let's look at the result and see what has happened. No, I think I selected the wrong field. 1 minute. I selected the 1 minute. Did I select the wrong field? I selected the agree field. Okay, let me come back here. It computed the agriculture loan. No, what happened to my data?
You deleted the row.
Okay, sorry. Okay, come on. Yes. Yeah, now let me come back here. Let's do this again. I got this fuzzy match, arrange. So here I have to select the customer name. I got the customer name. I said ignore. I'm just going to pick a few samples here to ignore. Okay, and then I say okay. Now let's see what has happened. Oh, I did a mistake. What is this here? 1 minute. I think there is a bug in the software. Yes. PLA. Okay, I think there's a problem in the software. It's actually skipping one field. Okay, let me do this again without the, because we recently added a new feature for ignore. Let me just pick up this again, arrange. I pick the customer name. Okay, split value. I have to give it as a space. I'm not going to give Mr. Let's just see what happens here. This will confirm whether there's a bug. Yes, now we got it right. I think there's a small bug in the new feature we added, the ignore Mr. Now, if you see here, this particular name, if you just check the name we had, Nayak Narayana. See, if you see here, it will be rearranged in the same order. Okay, which means internally for each of the words, it rearranges us alphabetically. Okay, so that you will be able to identify duplicates. Now, same thing, if I say duplicates, it will be able to identify the duplicates based on this. This is what is called as the fuzzy match. We also got a, sorry, yeah.
You're also mentioning there is something in Excel itself, right? Through which we can figure out the percentage also.
That I remember seeing that there is a particular one where it gives you the, when you're doing the matching, I'm not sure it's a part of Excel or there's an add-in to Excel, fuzzy match. There is an add-in to Excel called fuzzy match, where it does what is called as a fuzzy matching based on a percentage. So when you compare two columns, it can compare this based on this, and it will tell you what is the percentage match. Okay, let's come to fuzzy match. Similarly, you got something called normalized, similar. There is various other things which are there in the fuzzy match also. Now let me pick some data. Okay, now I showed you the identifier format. Now let me close this file. Now anything else in this? Let's say you want to do analysis. Let me show some functions of analysis before I go further on this. Now let's say I want to do another thing. Yeah, let's look at the same data. I want to pick up cases where we have something called an interesting function called same, different. Okay, which means it's another way of finding duplicates. This one, this could be, you can tell me where it could be useful. I'll show you the function. Same, different. It looks like I've forgotten where it is. 1 minute. Let me search and run. So if you don't know the name of function where it is available, so you can just come here. All these functions are available here. I am giving same, different. Now it tells me it's actually in analyze, identify. I'm searching in this one here. It's actually in analyze, identify. I can just double click here or say run. Now this will open that particular form. Now in this case, what I want to do is I want to find where the customer name is same and the limit is different. No, sorry, not the limit. The facility is different. In this case, I got this type of data only. Suppose I got the customer name and I got the PAN number. I want to find out cases where the customer name is same and the PAN number is different, or vice versa. So here I want to find out where the customer name is same, but the account number is different. Not facility. Let me pick up the account number is different. Now this can be done for single field or multiple fields. For example, I have got, let's say, the payroll data. Now you see, I got the data here in this case. These are cases where these are duplicates, where the name of the customer is same, but the account number is also same. Okay, here you see, in this case, you got the same, this one, where the account number is different. Here also the customer account number is different. Let's see, I got confused. Now, if you see here, in this case, the customer name is same, whereas the account number is
different, no? Yeah.
Yeah, account number is different. Yeah, I just saw the last two letters. So if you look at this one, I think this account number, all these are cases. You see exactly, we got 304, which you got earlier also. So this, I'm just giving you one simple case. This can be applied. Let's say I got a payroll data. In the payroll data, I want to find out cases where the employee ID is same, but the bank account is different. Okay, bank account to which you have transferred the amount is different. Or we got a customer where he has given, let's say, this one address, customer name and address, and his PAN number is different. Or you got a company who has given his, let's say, GSTN with the particular address. And now you find with the same address, he's got different companies. You can also find out that. All that can be done through the same different. We also got another interesting feature where we got something called duplicates in the same row. Which means now here, if you see, I think we added two columns where I got, incidentally, we have got this. We'll use this data where I want to find, for example, let's say the maker and checker is same. So for that, we have got something called identify duplicates in the same row. I got duplicates in the same row. So here I've just got the customer and customer duplicate name. Both may be same. I'm just giving this just to. So what I want to do in this case is I want to find duplicate in the same row. I have to just select the two names. In this case, I got the customer name and the customer duplicate. And I expect, because most of the cases we copied the same data, we're going to get exactly all the results are going to come as duplicates. So there are 93 cases where the customer, okay, we rearrange the data. Okay, that could be the reason. That's why we got this particular cases where the customer name and the customer, this one is duplicate, which means both are same. This can be used for doing what is called as the authorization check, where some type of data where you got the name and maker and checker is same.
Sure. Just a couple of questions here.
Yes, please go ahead.
In terms of the data, whatever number of rows that Excel can take, it can take only those many number of rows. What if I have data larger than that?
Yes, in that case, what we got one more solution called as Softcat. So Softcat is an independent data analytics software which has its own independent database. So Softcat is available in two flavors. One, it's available with Access as the backend. Another, we got SQL as the backend. So in this case of Softcat, what happens is it is an independent software. It's not an add-in software to Excel. It's an independent software which is available. You can install the software, and then what you have to do is you have to import the data what you want to analyze, and then you can perform similar type of functions. It has the same look and feel of what is available in ECAT, but it's an independent software.
Okay, so there you need to import data into software first, and after that you can perform the
you can perform the analysis. Yeah,
understood.
So now if you see, this is the function. In this case, I think my license is expired. That's why I'm not getting the menus. Just to give you a perspective, now if you see, these are the files which I imported it. I can create the company or the assignment, and I can import the data, and then I can perform all the functions, whatever functions I want, I can perform.
Okay.
So this is available in Access as the backend and SQL as the backend. SQL, I think, can take nearly 2 GB of data. Or if you got a SQL server, there's no limit. So whatever limit you got for SQL, you can analyze large amount of data.
Understood. But even this will not have a percentage match feature, right?
Which one? You're talking about percentage match for in our ECAT?
Yeah.
So what I can do is in this case, let me just see, because see, we have got a nearly, I can just do some research and come back to you on this, whether we can add that as a feature, because we have got this particular percentage here. We don't have a percentage, but you got something called character. So in that case, I have to just work out the logics, logic for doing the percentage wise analysis, how the percentage has to compute it. For example, let's say I'm doing percentage based on the number of characters. So here what we are given in this one fuzzy match, let's say near, is we tell, okay, so how many percentage of number of characters I take it as a difference.
So I'll tell you the problem statement, Abdul. So frankly speaking, what we face is, there are a lot of customers of ours which are south based.
Okay.
The south based customers usually, in terms of their name, they'll have their father name and their place of location and everything coming in as a name itself, right?
Okay.
So you'll have C. Raghunath Rao
Hmm.
and so, right? So
Okay.
at some places you may keep that C before the name and
Hmm.
capture Raghunath Rao after that. Or some
Hmm.
places you can probably capture Raghunath Rao before and
Hmm.
keep C at the fag end.
Hmm.
Okay. And this since happens in their various documents also, and hence, basis which document they are providing, we can
Hmm.
capture name in different ways. So there
Okay.
could be one thing, right? After that, then there are other factors. Typically mobile number, it could either be same for both the names, or it
Hmm.
could be different.
Hmm.
At one time, customer is given PAN card, another time customer is given maybe Aadhaar card. So those factors are also different. Then we
Hmm.
go to the address, right? So maybe he's residing at the same place, but it
Hmm.
depends, how you are capturing that address. If you
Okay.
are, if you have, chosen any short form of a particular thing, it will not be exact match and stuff. Whereas
Hmm.
if we go through the percentage match and all, we can
Hmm.
kind of catch such kind of things.
Hmm. No, but the percentage match has a risk factor. No, for example, let's say I got a name called Ramarao. Okay, another name I got Ram Rao. So in
Right.
that case, based on the percentage factor, you find both are same. Would you take that?
So we'll have to do a manual eyeballing after that. We'll at least get the samples out. That this is
Hmm.
where we need to probably review and check.
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
this is something which requires a manual eyeballing.
Now, what we can do in that case, there are two ways we can do. We have got another function called as normalize.
Okay.
So if you use this normalize, this another thing where we can remove the special characters and other things, and based on that you can do the matching. Let's see if I pick this. I got the customer name. Then I have got retain special character. For example, let's say you're saying full stop, ignore the full stop. I can say ignore that full stop, and based on that I do the analysis, I can do that. So what I suggest we can do is the best thing could be if you can just share me some sample data, some sanitized data, let's say about 100 records or something, which you got, and then tell me, okay, what is the type of this one you want? I can just test it out and then come back to you on that.
Sure.
We can, so as far as we are concerned, I think it can be done. That's not a problem. We don't have feature. If it's going to be critical for you, we can find out that.
Understood.
Okay, yeah. This as per this one. Let me now pick up the test data. I'm going to pick up some test data, just show you the matching for the PAN, the TAN, and how we can do further analysis. I'm going to pick up, let's say there is a data called, this is what I call as the index sheet. Now, when you use ECAT, you can also create an index sheet. This is the index sheet. Using the index sheet, I can know all the worksheets which are available. I can get a synopsis of that worksheet. Not only that, I can navigate to any worksheet. For example, this I want to navigate to this format data. I just click on this, I come to this particular sheet, worksheet. Now, if I add this one, let's say add worksheets or delete worksheet, do whatever I want. Again, if I just go to ECAT Enterprise, and there is a function which I told you, like index worksheets, index sheets, I can do that indexing. I can also index workbook. I can open any specific workbook. Like that, I can perform various things. I also want to create a record. For example, all the work which I'm doing, I'm creating in a particular folder. I can also create a file list for this. Now, let's come specifically to what is called as the validate. So here, what I want to do was, I want to validate. In this case, I want to validate the patterns. Let's look at the patterns. Now here, if you see, I've got the PAN. We also told you what is we also tell you what is the pattern as per the income tax department. So if you look at this particular number, this is the structure of the number, and what is the logic meaning behind the number. We have given this logic also so that we are very clear. Now the beauty of the software is based on this, I can pick up this complete. Now the person has given his PAN number, and he says he's actually an individual, but actually as per the income tax, is a, let's say, a company or is a trust. I can find out based on this particular logic. Not only that, I can also identify the format. Now let's say I'm going to pick the PAN. We are not doing validating the PAN number with the income tax department. We are just identifying the format and checking the logic behind this particular number. Now here I've said in this particular PAN number what I got, I want to identify, I can identify both, or I can identify only valid or invalid. I'm giving both. So, and now if you see, I'm asking for the associate type. These are all the associate types which are embedded in the PAN number, which is already given.
Okay.
I say, okay. This is done for PAN, TAN, and GST. Now, if you see here, in this particular case, I got this complete data. Now, this is the number data I have got. This is the TAN name. Now, see, based on this, it has computed the associate name, associate type. Okay, it also tells me which are the pattern, and based on the pattern, which of them is invalid. Say, I know these are the pattern, this one which are invalid. And based on what it is invalid, pattern validation. And based on validation of associate also, this is incorrect. Okay, this is how I can pick up the. So I can select whichever one. For example, in this case, I want to know which are the guys who are actually assessees. Now, if you see, these are all the companies, these are all the entities who are assessees, individuals. Okay, I want to find out which are the companies. Now here I get this particular one. All these are companies. So based on this also I can find out if there are any exceptions. This is based on the validate pattern based on the TAN. Same way I can do validate based on the TAN. Let's come to the templates. We also added a new feature which is called as validate mobile number. Okay, now let me come to patterns. So here, if you pick, let's say if I'm going to pick up the GSTIN, now here also, if you see, I've got the pattern. So this gives you the pattern for the structure of the GSTN. Okay, it's a normal composite dealer. The first 2 digits are the state code, and then next input service distributor are the 2-digit state code. Like that, it gives you the complete logic, and the last digit is a check digit. This is the logic for the GSTN. Now let's just do a function and check. Now here also, based on this particular type, I can also find out the dealer type because we embedded the code inside this. Not only that, I can also display the state name. Assessee type, I say select all the assessee type. I've got this type of assessees. I want to pick up only companies, I can do that, or I can pick up all. So based on the GSTN also, I can find out what is the assessee type. All the details are available. Now I'm going to pick up, first thing I have to do is pick up the right column. So I'm going to pick up the GSTN. I just got some sample data of GSTN. Now here also I've given both valid and invalid. Now here also you can find out based on the GSTN, what is that you call it as, what is it? Jatka, you know his complete, this one to which category he belongs. This here we get the assessee validation, what the dealer type he is. And not only that, whether the pattern is valid or invalid. Not only that, we also get the state code for each of them. So based on the, this one, you don't need to know the state, you automatically it picks up the state code. Now here I want to pick up which are the ones which are invalid. Now it also tells me why it is invalid. So based on the invalid length or the invalid check digit. So it gives me the logic based on which this particular number is invalid. Now, can I apply this for any other pattern? Let's say you got your account number in your bank. Now you'd like to, you have a particular logic for the account number. You can also apply that logic, and based on that you can apply whether the particular pattern has been correctly given the software. So here you can give others, and you can give your own pattern saying that, okay, this is my employee code, and the employee code first digit is character, second digit, so on. So I can give that particular position. Based on that, it dynamically compute this particular pattern validation. Okay, let me come back to my this one. So once I got this data, this is what I said is the template. We got specific function for, let's say in this case, I was talking about validate. You can also go and validate the email IDs. Now in the email IDs, I can also check whether the email ID is valid. I can also check that the domain is valid. So if I got this set of email IDs, it'll check whether the domain and the email ID is valid. So somebody is giving an email ID and you want to check, for example, you got a list of all the customer email IDs and you keep sending customer emails and you don't know many of them bounce, you don't know how many of them are reached, how many of them valid. So you can just run this particular validate email ID on this using this particular function. It'll go and validate two things. One is the format for this particular email ID. It'll check the format for that email ID. Not only that, it will also check the domain name and tell you whether that particular email ID is valid. So you'll be able to pick up all the email IDs which are valid and invalid. Okay, this I just showed you some of the functions based on what you are looking for. Is there any specific thing you want this one to cover?
I guess the only thing which I was thinking is that percentage thing. So
Yeah.
with anything else that you can think of?
Now, if you see here, this is what I said is the rerun function. So this gives you, this is what I said is the auto documentation. All the functions you have run, it will give you, it will maintain a documentation of that. All the functions which are run, when it is performed, with the date and timestamp and where the file is located. You can also view this in Excel. You can also reperform that function. It will also capture the parameters of what is the parameters you gave for this.
Okay. So whenever you open this file, this remains, right?
Yeah, this remains. This is automatically stored in the database. It will be shown. Plus, I think there is also a log file, activities log, which also is one more thing where it tells you the activities you performed in this software. Okay, what are the functions, workbook name, file path, performed at what time it was performed. Everything is available here.
Okay.
Okay, as I said, I'll take 1 hour. So we are already reaching the end of the hour as per the time. So you can tell me whether this is okay. I've just shown you probably about 3 to 4% of what is there in our software.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
Because I wanted to focus only specifically on what you wanted.
Yeah.
So what I suggest you can do is if you can just share me some sample data. That's what I think Mustansir team did. They gave me some sample data. So based on the sample data, I was able to test which of the functions are available. Some of the functions we added a new function. For example, let's say they are doing validation based on, let's say, the company, if that individual is a company, and then based on the company, if they give a particular loan, that should be percentage. There's also risk identification, all those type of things. Some of the things we are not able to perform. So we added the new function called as compute for condition, through which they're able to perform that analysis. So we can check that in your case if it is possible, because we don't do customized development. But if that function could be something which could be useful for a large number of customers, we can add that as a specific function and we'll give it to as a part of the complementary, the part of the software itself.
Sure, got it.
We'll not charge you separately for that.
One question, just I joined in late. Abdul, one question before you wind up.
Yeah.
Is there a function to identify cases which are beyond a standard deviation? Say, for example, if my interest rate is 16%, then approval for every month should be some in the range of 16 and say 0.05% here there.
Yeah. So we have got something called outlier.
We
have got something called outlier. Now, if you see here, outlier by numbers, by bounds, by month. Here, what it will give you? It will give you this. Now, for example, here, this is what you're talking about, standard deviation.
Okay.
If you see here, I got this particular number. I can say account, this one, let's say account ID is not meaningful. Here, I'm going to pick up based on, let's say, the amount. Okay. Now, I can also group it based on the customer. I'm not going to do that. Here, let's say I'm going to give 3 times the standard deviation. Okay. So in this case, I want to find out. I can also find 3 times the average of the standard deviation. If I give this, it should be able to pick up from this particular data. It should be able to pick up and tell me which are the outliers based on the criteria which are specified. You can also put a condition for this. I want to do this for all loans where the amount is more than 50,000. See, I got this. These are the 4 records which are 3 times the standard deviation of what you got.
Understood.
You got the answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Pramod this side. I
Yeah.
have one question.
Yeah.
Suppose at the time of taking a loan against one product, that is gold loan, if
Yeah.
customer is submitting me PAN card,
Okay.
and while taking a loan against property, customer is submitting Aadhaar card,
Okay.
but the date of birth will remain same in both the cases. Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
But if he is using that loan against property for the purpose of business, and if he is submitting the date of incorporation, how to identify that in both of the cases the person is the same, beneficial person is the same?
In that case, what we can do is we have got a function called relate, where you can actually now currently what I showed you is only the identity duplicate. What we can do is there are 2 things. One, let's say in this case I can join the files.
Okay.
Okay. Now what I'll do is I don't have the sample data for that. What I'll do is I'll join the files on some particular data. Then I think you'll get the perspective what you're asking.
Okay.
Let's say I got this sales with items. Let me pick up this. I got the sales transactions. Okay. I got the sales transactions and I have got the sales trans limit. Okay. Let's assume in your case it's the date of birth is available in a different file. Now these are 2 different files. What I can do in this case is I can join these 2 files and based on that I can find out the exception. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you through a simple this one. We already got a standard function for this called as authentication check.
Okay.
The logic, I don't have the sample data for this, but I'm giving the same logic which you can apply for what the type of data you want to perform. I have the sales transaction file, and let's say you got one more. What is the type of the file? In this case, I'm going to select the sales trans limit. Now here, what is common? You have to select what is common. Here I've got user ID and user ID. These are common. So in your case, the date of birth is what is going to be common. Okay, now here, because I'm going to check based on the limit, I want to pick up all the cases where the sales has been entered by the user greater than the limit. Okay, so now if you see, this is what is called as testing for segregation duties. I'll be able to pick up, let's say about 6,400 records, and I'm able to pick up, these are the 18 cases where the loan sanctioned is beyond the limit. In your case, what I have to do is I can use the join function. Based on the join function, I can get the common date of birth to this particular function, and based on that, I can verify what you're saying.
But suppose while taking a loan against gold, customer has given his individual PAN card.
Okay.
And while taking the loan against property, and he is using that amount for his business purpose, and he has given the date of incorporation of his business.
Okay.
Then how do I ensure that the beneficial owner is same in both the cases?
So what you need to do in that case is you have to find out something which is common between the two. Ideally, what should happen in this case is, although he has taken two different loans, the customer ID is something which is common, which should be unique between the two. So if it is not there, I need to find out which is the one which is actually common between the two. For example, in this case, the address may be same. Something has to be common. Based on the commonality, I can pick.
So at the time of creating or generating the UCIC ID, or I can say customer ID,
yeah,
first customer ID was created in my subsystem, which is being used for the loan against gold, and another ID is being has been created in the another subsystem for the loan against property. So both are having the same different PAN number and Aadhaar number. Then how do I ensure that in both of that cases the person is the same?
So see, in this case, if the parameters are, the data elements are going to be different, it's going to be difficult. So we have to study the type of data elements you got, and based on that, see whether we can apply some fuzzy match logic and see whether we can pick up the common elements.
Okay. And one more question, that how to take it control that the one UCIC should not have the two different PAN number.
See, there are two aspects. See, I was also doing IS audit earlier. Ideally, see, there are three types of controls: preventive, detective, and corrective.
Yes,
the software should actually ensure that this is prevented right at the beginning itself, which means when you're creating the user, that the first line of defense. The software should not allow this type of a customer to be created. Okay, that's the preventive. In case preventive is not working now, in your case, what you're trying to do is you already have a large chunk of data which is accumulated over a period of time. Yes. Now you want to see whether you're able to detect that data. So this where our software like us will be useful, where you'll be able to detect, let's say majority. It may not be able to detect 100%. Probably it will be able to detect about 80 to 90% of the cases. Okay, so you detect that, and then after that you apply the corrective controls, which means you go to the database, to the application, and then change it so that you have a unique customer ID. How do you do that? For that, you need to decide how the software works, whether through the same software, whether you can actually make that as a common this one, or delete the old one and then transfer with the common user ID. That depends on how the software works.
So is there any way to detect this this manual to remove this or to eliminate this process? To eliminate this duplication?
Pramod, I'll just put it up. Rafiq sir, what Pramod is looking is basically he's looking more of a detection. So, suppose you get a database whereby a customer having a different UCID, but he's either having the same name or he's having same PAN number or same Aadhaar number.
See, if it is got anything which is common, we can definitely 100% pick up the data. There is no issue about that. Okay, what Pramod is talking about is where the data elements are completely different. One case he has given the PAN number, another case he has given the Aadhaar number.
But the name is match, no sir. You gave that fuzzy logic, no?
That's what, see, for fuzzy match also, I need to find some common element.
अपन वो सिस्टम में जाता है लैब में और सिस्टम से डायरेक्ट उसमें चले जाता है आपको वो एक्टिविटी करना.
So one more thing here, in terms of commercial, they are known to.
Sir, we have only gone in for enterprise version of license.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to look into for some other stuff, you can directly contact Rafiq sir. I mean,
I'll give. So we have already gone for the enterprise version. Is it like that, Mustan?
Yeah, enterprise version, which is an Excel extension, basically.
Understood.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
In fact, we gave a trial version of this one because I was skeptical whether this will work, because Mustansir was saying that we have about 5 lakh record, 10 lakh records, and the systems, laptops, what they're using, the configuration also very low. So they ran a free trial. After that, they agreed to buy the software.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
We can also do the same for you. You can we can give you a free trial. You run it on your this one data what you got.
बोलो ये 6 इंटरव्यू में डबल ऐसा बोला तो ये सब डिलीट कर दे यार जो भी है.
Okay, I think I'll mute. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, any other question?
Okay, that's it from my side. Anyone else, guys?
Hey, one more. Will we get some kind of dictionary, function dictionary, so that we get acquainted to what all functions are there and what we can do? And
So what you can do, that's a good point. Let me just share my screen. What you can do in
I
that
think
case.
there are numerous functions, and I may want something. You have that, but I'm not aware that such function is available.
Correct. I got your point. So what we can do is, I think that's why we made most of things transparent and make it publicly available. So if you go to website, so if you want to know, let's say you are asking about this one, the pricing. Let's say you go to buy or renew. So you'll be able to get the pricing of a software. Okay, now if you see here for the enterprise version, what is the software we have? We also give a discount for FedBank, so we can apply the same for you. So this is for a ECAT. For all the software, whatever we got this. Let's say Softcat is available. Softcat also we got. Softcat Pro is also there. Okay, this as far as the pricing is concerned. And we also got for renewal, it's 50% the price for renewal. And next, let's say you are looking at the features. Now I've got product solutions. Let's say I want to go to ECAT Enterprise. So you want to let me go specifically to the page where you're talking about. I want to know which are the list of functions which are available. Here we got the complete list of functions, all the things which I use the Excel sheet to remember. We are given that as a PDF file. So you can just have a quick glance based on this particular function and you'll get to know what are the functions which are available. Okay, so this gives the complete list of all the 392 functions. This is the latest file. All the 392 functions are available. It tells you briefly what the function can do. Okay, this is what is available. This is what you're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah, all these things, whatever you got, each of the functions, what is available is available here. In fact, we have designed this ECAT. One of the common complaints we have get is that there are too many functions. So I always tell them, see, we have designed this ECAT enterprise software more like a 5-star buffet. So when you go to 5-star buffet, you don't eat everything. So you decide which one you want, and based on that, you use the specific functions. So the complete list of functions is available here. Not only that, if I come back to ECAT Enterprise, let's say we have, if we want to get an idea, look at the demos. The demos are of the software are available in 2 places. Now, if you want to look at the video, now if you see here, we got this video. Webinar recordings are available. Every month we do a webinar for about 1 hour where we cover the latest updates. Now here, if you see, there's one recording which I did for CA Institute, which is available. Here we got 51 key functions of ECAT. So here, not only this particular function, what I've also done is I've added a timer for each of the functions. So you can go inside the YouTube video and look at more description. Now, these are the 5 videos that are available. Okay, now if you come back here, now let's say I come to the 3rd video, I covered 12 functions here. Now, if you come below this, let me mute this. If I come down here, there is a, okay, let me, yes. In the show description, here, if you see, I've also given the timing. So if you're looking at any specific function, let's say you want to know what is classifier, what is aging, what is identify unique. I showed you identify your duplicates. There's something called identify unique. So you remember I told you about identifier format. You can also use this relative size factor. You want to see the demo. In about 2 minutes, I'll cover the demo with the sample data which is available. So there are about 51 key functions which are available here. In fact, in the near future, I'm planning to do a recording for all the functions and make it available through the portal. So that if you got any doubt on any function, directly click on this. You should be able to go to the particular function directly. As of now, we got, but we don't have for all the functions. For example, here, if you go to help, there is a context sensitive help. We also got something called tip of the day. So in the tip of the day, wherever we have also said what are the functions available, wherever video is available, we also give the link to the videos. Okay. Anything else, sir? So the next step could be from your side. If you can, this one, there are two ways you can go about it. You'd like to give some sample data with specific things. What is the requirement? Then probably I can run it through our team. Let's check what are the functions we can do, how you can achieve the result, what you want. And if there's some fine tuning you have to do for the software, and it's possible with minimal time, we'll also do it at no cost for you. Or the second option is you want to explore this on your own. You can request for on a website. There's an option to request for a free trial. You can just give a request for a free trial, 1 or 2 copies, the number you want, and then you can assign it to a team. Let them explore this with the sample data you got. Does it sound good? Anything else?
Yeah, well, that's fine, I guess. Katie, anything from your side?
Oh, yes, I think we would like to go for a demo kind of a thing, or like first-hand usage. So we'll get in touch with Abdul maybe or to Muskan
Yeah.
for a trial.
Yeah. So what I suggest in that case is, when you use the free trial demo, sometimes you may have some issues because you need to get familiar with how to use the software. So once I give the free trial, if you got any specific things, you can share that with me. Well, then I can give a personal demo for the specific functions. Other than what happened,
question, Abdul,
yeah.
How much should I rely on the output? Don't take me wrong, or otherwise.
No, I got it.
In
So
terms of bug fixing and all, how reliable the output will be. So I don't know what is happening, how the functions are running at the back end. Correct?
No, the best thing in this case is
identified all the invalids or. Correct. I may use this tool for regulatory reporting or some stat reporting. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of comfort you can provide there?
As of now, see, we cannot, as far as any software is concerned, there's no software in the world which is bug free. But what we do is we started the development of the Softcat software in 2001. And then I sold it to Tally in 2005. I was working in Tally for about 2 years. So it means we have spent nearly 5 years. And at that time, maybe about 20 man years on developing this particular software. In 2008, I got back the software and kept it in cold storage. And 2010, we started development. 2010 to 2021, a lot of users based on which we get feedback. Based on that, we keep on rectifying the bugs. If you look at the software, we also got something called release notes. What is software we bug based on the internal testing, based on the feedback from the customers, we keep on updating. So I cannot give a percentage, how much percentage correct. But if there is any bug, we'll be able to identify. See, if you look at the type of bugs, most of the cases, the logic is very simple. All these things is run through a particular query. Only a few things which is done through procedure. So if a query runs correctly, then there is no doubt it will run correctly. So only the rare percentage, 0.001%, there may be an error. Now, for example, let's say the banking software, you're running the banking software digitally, billions and trillions of transactions being done. How sure are we that it doesn't have any bugs? So there can always be some bugs, but we keep on updating it. Long back, I remember I did an audit of Finacle using COBIT as a framework, where we picked up the controls from COBIT and said, these are the controls which are expected in a banking software. We made a list of all the controls based on all the criteria and then used it as an evaluation criteria for checking whether Finacle has all the controls. And based on, we gave them a COBIT certificate. So even at that time, Finacle had so many different issues. We pointed to them and then they were able to rectify and resolve that.
So the fact that it's already in use for more than a decade, that gives comfort here.
Yeah, so it has been used. I think that should not be a problem. That should not be a major problem. And quite often, in most of the case, what are validation doing? See, we can always you can validate whether the results are correct. Okay, the only possibility is, let's say there are some results which are there, because which I'm not able to get the result. That could be possible. For example, that's where it becomes, like I told you, apparently when I look at the data, let's say Rama and Rao, I have given 2 spaces there. Whereas another case, I've given Rama and Rao with only a single space. Or after Rama Rao, after that I have given a space. In Tally, in TCAT, we have similar type of issues. When you run a query, it doesn't give the Tally says it doesn't match. Then we go inside, then we find that's where we brought in all this curate functions. So to see that the data is harmonized. Still, there could be possible. We cannot give 100% guarantee. Still, there could be possibility. There may be errors, but the percentage I think is very rare. And if you come across any errors and you inform us, I think we definitely will fix it in the next release. Generally, most of the cases, if you come across a bug, we'll simulate the situation and we'll fix it.
Understood.
And from the regulatory perspective, if you use the software and relied on that particular software, and you have been using it for some time, you can be sure that you can give a reason that as far as we are concerned, we have done 100% from our side. Might be still a few things which are beyond our control. But will it be a showstopper? I think most of the cases it will not be such a big showstopper. In terms of materiality, will that be a big concern? It may not be a big concern. Yes, Ashit ji, anything else? Mustad sir, can we call it a day?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can. If anybody has any questions, like.
I'm done, Muskan.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a great pleasure interacting with you. I hope we'll be able to interact again in the future. So thank you very much and namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to end the meeting.